Welcome, welcome. My name is Teresa Harper, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm located in Sheridan, Oregon, in the United States, and I am so glad that you joined me tonight. So let's go ahead and see if I can see who is on. And then we can... There we go. That's showing up live now. So let's see if I can find the comments. I'm going to give that just a minute, see if those comments pop in there. And then let's see what we get. Nope. No comments. Okay. What do I have to do? I wish I could figure this out. Oh, there we go. Hello, Cynthia. Let me switch this to live chat so I can see all the messages. Great. So happy you could join me. Okay. We are going to be using the Scenic Pumpkin Patch again this evening. If you missed my pre-recorded video on Tuesday night, I did upload that to YouTube, and it should be there for you to rewatch, or you could go watch it on my Facebook page, which is K&T Designs by Teresa, and you should have the video there. Okay. Hello, Margot Van Diver from California. Welcome. First time watching. I don't recognize that name. And hello, Laura. So glad you could join me. All right. So we are going to jump right in and get this moving. Again, we're using the Scenic Pumpkin Patch. We are making a treat box tonight. As if you know me, this is what I consider treat box season. So you're going to be seeing a lot of those. And of course, you can take this idea and turn it into a card if 3D projects are not your cup of tea. So in addition to the Scenic Pumpkin Patch, as you can tell, this does not have any sentiments. So I'm going to pull in the sentiments from the More Than Autumn photopolymer stamp set. You can purchase this right now as a bundle. There's 36 photopolymer stamps, and then you also, if you purchase the bundle, get 23 dies. We are missing one there that we're going to be using tonight. And then I thought I'd pull in an old, this is current, but it's an older set, the Rustic Crate dies. We're going to be using the crate from this tonight. So this is still available in the online store. And you can get both pieces, the stamp set and the coordinating dies. Okay, it does not come in a bundle any longer, however. So what I have is the 2 crate pieces from the die, or from that Rustic Crate set. And I have already cut those in pecan pie. So these are our pieces. Okay. So I pre-did that so you didn't have to watch me run them through. I also pre-cut the word spice, and that die comes from the More Than Autumn bundle. So I pre-cut that, and what I did was I took a piece of Cajun Craze cardstock, just a scrap. I put adhesive sheets on the back, and then I cut the word spice twice. Okay, so I've got both of those pieces here. So we've got those. Let's go ahead and put those together so they don't get lost. So I'm just going to pop out these little center pieces here. And this does have the backing on it. You can tell by the white of the back side, because our cardstock is 2-sided. So both sides are Cajun Craze. So we're going to punch those out. Just get those. Sorry, I should have popped these out, so you didn't have to watch me do that. Okay, so now I'm just going to take these. I want my word spice to be just a little bit thicker, but I didn't want to pop it up too big. So I'm just going to take my Take Your Pick tool in here, and I'm going to take that wax paper backing off of the word spice. And I'm going to grab my tweezers because that's how I work best with the tiny stuff. And I'm just going to lay that over the top of the other word spice. Put that in my fingers. And before I press it down too hard, I'm going to line those up so that I'm stacking them. And then I can give them a press. And that is now ready for our project. So we'll set that aside. And let's go ahead and bring in some basic white cardstock. And this is for stamping. So we're going to take the trio of pumpkins from the Scenic Pumpkin Patch. And I'm going to ink those up in pumpkin pie. This is kind of a distinctive stamp set, so if your ink pad is too juicy, you'll want to take a spoon like this. I use the back of a spoon and just push that ink into the pad. That way you're not wasting the ink. It's still there, and then you'll get just a better inking image. Okay, so I've got my pumpkin pie on there now. And I'm going to take my Cajun Craze ink pad and a sponge dauber. And I'm going to ink up that dauber. And I'm just going to dab on a little bit of Cajun Craze ink. Give that a little bit of huff. And put that down. Okay? And then I'm going to re-ink. I just cleaned that with a wipe. And I'm going to re-ink that in the pumpkin pie. And then I'm going to ink that again with the Cajun Craze dauber. And I'm going to overlap these just a little, like so. Almost got too low on that. I can make that work. Wow, you guys, I did that wrong. Let me flip that over. Let me do that again. I didn't want that. Well, actually, yeah. Sorry. I meant to do ink in the pumpkin pie, ink in the Cajun Craze. Let's make sure this one fits on the thing just properly. Okay, so I've got that. Now I'm going to take a mask. And all I did was stamp this on a Post-it note. I'm going to put this down. Right. And then I'm going to ink this up. And Cajun Craze on my dauber. And then when I stamp this back down and overlap those, it'll look like this set of pumpkins is in front of that one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that. For some reason, my live did not go on. Let's fix that. Let's fix this. Oh, come on. Oh, now my thing's not going to work. Gosh darn it, mother. Okay, let's see if I can get my stabilizer to quit. There we go. So sorry, you guys. Okay, hopefully she does not call back. Okay, I'm gonna I don't know. I had that do not disturb was supposed to go on and it apparently didn't work. For some reason, I'm going to have to fix that so it doesn't let anybody through. Okay, so now we've got that. Oh, and now I'm all discombobulated. Where did I? Okay, good thing I have a second one of these. I want to put this back on here. And then I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow ink. And I've got the little leaf, or the little pumpkin tops. And I'm going to start with the last set of pumpkins that I stamped. And then I'm going to remove my mask and stamp these in. Okay, so I've got those. Now, I've already pre-done, I needed 2 sets of the 6 and 1 set of 3. So I've already done those so that you didn't have to watch me cut them, stamp and cut them multiple times. So I've got those. And then there is a die for the set of 3 pumpkins, but because I've done the overlapped pumpkins, I need to hand fussy cut these. So I'm just going to do that real quick. And now you know why I already did 2 ahead of time, because you didn't need to watch that. Once is enough. All right, let's see. I'm just going to give these a quick little cut. Notice how I'm moving my paper with my left hand. I'm right-handed. So I'm just opening and closing my scissors with the right hand. Moving my paper with the left. Leaving just a little bit of a border. Makes it look like the die cuts. Okay, we're almost finished there. All right, so there we go. Now we have our set of pumpkins here. Let's go ahead and do our sentiment. So we're going to take from the More Than Autumn, This Calls For, and I'm going to stamp that in Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to stamp this about like that. And then I'm going to take the word pumpkin, and I'm going to stamp that in Pumpkin Pie. And I'm going to try and center that up right below This Calls For. Okay, so we've got that. And then we're going to bring in the Countryside Corners dies, and we're going to use this one. And this is too large for what I want, so I'm going to alter this. I'm going to start here on the left, and I'm going to put that where I want it to stop. Put a little piece of mint tape there to hold that in place. And then I'll bring in my mini cut and emboss. Plate 1, plate 2. And I'm going to put this in, and then I'm going to put a second plate 2 on the top, but I'm going to put it so that it's just shy of where I want it to, the words to stop. And I'm going to run this through. And because I did that, it's not going to cut anything past the end of that piece, okay? So then, as you can see now, well, I can get that tape to come off of there. Thank you very much. Okay. So now I've got this cut and this is not. So now I'm going to flip this around. I'm going to lay this die back in that groove. And because I left it in there like I did, this should fit right back in that same groove. Let me find that. It should lock right in there. Okay. Normally I don't have this. Okay, let's see. Did I get it to lock? Okay, let's lock in here. There we go. Now it's locked in there. Now let me slide it. Okay, slide it down to where I want it. It's all nice and secured, locked in. I'm going to put my piece of tape there. I'm going to take my top plate again, and I'm going to put it where I want it to stop cutting. Because remember, we have most of that cut already. And then when I lift this off, I have that smaller die cut. And you can't tell that I lined that back up. Okay, so that's a really good way to use your dies to get them the size that you need for your sentiments. Okay, so I think that is the majority of our stamping here. So let's go ahead and start assembling our box. I've got a piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock, and this piece is cut at 4.5 by 8.5. Here's our template. Give you that a look for a second while I bring in my Simply Scored tool. Okay. So we're going to put the 4.5-inch side at the top of our board, and we're going to score at 1 inch from each end. So I'm going to score 1 inch, flip it 180 degrees, and score it at an inch again. Then I'm going to put my 8.5-inch side at the top, and I'm going to score this at 1 inch, 3.5, 4.5, 7, and 8. Okay, 1, 3.5, 4.5, 7, and 8. Okay, and that is all of our scoring. So we're going to fold and burnish on our score lines here. Just checking to see if there were any more comments that I had missed. I'm going to have to there we go. Okay. Sorry about that. I was refreshing my screen for my comments. All right, so we're just folding these over. And when I fold, I take my valley score and turn it and fold it into a mountain. Okay, so this is the top of our box. This is the bottom of our box. And this little piece here, you can see is only a 1/2 inch strip. This is going to be the reinforced front of our box. So I'm going to turn this over to the back side because it's easier for me to see my score lines. And on this one, I'm going to cut straight up the line on the large rectangle. And then I'm going to angle cut. I'm going to turn my paper and angle cut toward the score line here to meet that cut. And I'm going to repeat that over here, straight up on the rectangle, and then angle cut on this square to meet that cut. Okay, so you can see that I've cut straight up and then angle cut. All right. Now we're going to do the exact same thing here on all of these score lines. So we're going to cut up the score line on the rectangle straight. We're going to cut straight up to the first horizontal score line on the rectangle, and then we're going to angle cut toward that line on all of the squares. So straight up on the rectangle, and an angle cut to remove that score line. Straight up on the score, angle cut to remove. Straight up on the rectangle, angle cut to remove. Now when we get to the end piece here, we're going to angle cut toward the outside, and then we're going to flip this 180 degrees and repeat that process straight up and angle cut on each of those score lines and angle cut to the outside on that little square on the end. Straight up, angle cut, straight up on the rectangle, angle cut the square. And what we're doing by doing this is we're making some nice glue tabs and keeping our edges of our box straight. Okay, so when we get done, this is what our box should look like. Okay, let me turn that over to the outside of the box. And again, this is our top, this is our bottom, this is the reinforced front. I like to add my designer series paper while my box is flat. I find that to be the easiest. So I'm bringing in some of the Splendid Autumn designer series paper here. This is a pack of 6x6. You get 48 sheets. You have lovely sceneries on one side, and then these gorgeous muted pieces on the back. So I'm using one of the Cajun Craze ones. This piece is 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Now, if you don't like the wider border, you could do 2 3/8 by 2 3/8, and that would give you a narrow border. And then you need 3 pieces that are 3/4 by 2 1/4. Okay, so 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, 3/4 by 2 1/4 on these 3. Right, so we're going to go ahead and add those to our box. All right, and I like to add them, like I say, when it's flat. And I definitely want to add this one before I put everything together because I need to put a notch in this one, a finger notch. So we're just going to add this in and try and make sure that our edges line all up. Okay, if I were good, I would have my silicone craft sheet here so I didn't get adhesive on my mat here. Okay, so last one. Now, if you had directional paper, you would want to decide how you wanted this piece, whether you were going to have it open to the side or open this way, however you're going to have your direction. And then you would need to place these pieces accordingly. Okay, mine's not directional, so it doesn't matter. So let's go ahead. We're going to add some tear and tape. And let's start with finding where my tear and tape fell to. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece of tear and tape, and I'm going to go to this 1/2 inch, turn this over, and I'm going to put that 1/2 inch, I'm going to put tear and tape on that 1/2 inch strip right there. Oh, don't tell me I ran out of tear and tape. Oh, why is that sticking where it shouldn't? Oh, my tear and tape come away from my backing. That is the weirdest thing. Okay, let me fix that real quick. Just gonna trim that little bit off there. Okay, then we'll add this. You want to use a strong adhesive here. Now you could use liquid glue. Okay, so I've got that on the inside. Now while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and remove this wax paper backing. Take your pick tool. And this is going to reinforce the front of our box. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a good press. And now I have a nice smooth front with a little bit of reinforcement. All right, before I go any further, I need to put my finger notch in the front of this. Now this should be at this is 2.5, so you want to put it at 1.25 inches. So I'm going to take my ruler here. I like to measure it. You can eyeball it if you like. Okay, and I'm going to put at 1.25 because this is 2.5. 1.25 is the halfway mark. I'm just going to put a little dot there with my stylus. And then I'm going to take a 1-inch circle punch. And I'm just going to give that a little bit of a finger notch. Okay, just give that a little press. And now I've got my notch. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of my tear and tape to my glue tabs. And I like to add it to right along the score line. And then I'll put a little bit here at the end. And I'll do that on each of these glue tabs. Okay. And we're almost done here. There we go. Hope everybody's having a good evening. And I hope you'll give this box a try. All right. So we've got that. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to take my bone folder and give each of those a good burnish. One, it makes the backing come off easier, and two, it really secures that adhesive to the cardstock so that it doesn't pull away later. So first, I'm going to take these 4 sections right here, closest to the designer series paper, because this, oh, wait a minute, this is the top of my box. Never mind. Turn that around. I'm doing it wrong. The part without the designer series paper, I'm going to take these 4 sections because this is the bottom of our box. And I need to move the tabs toward this side, toward the bottom, to form those box sides. So we'll get those all removed. And then I'm going to start here, and I'm going to put this piece toward the non-DSP, and I'm going to put the cut edge to the score line, go to the opposite side, cut edge to the score line, and now you can see how my box bottom is forming. Okay, then I'm going to add my reinforced front pieces again, cut line to the score line, cut line to the score line, and I've got that done. So now I can take my bone folder and go in and give those a good press to make sure that those cardstock pieces adhere well to each other so that my box doesn't come apart. Okay, so I've got that. Now I can remove the backing on my top, my box top. So this will fold over the bottom. And in order to ensure that my box will fold over my bottom nicely because this is symmetrical. Everything is the same size. I'm going to put my top over the bottom, fold the front down, and secure that with my fingers. Then I'm going to take my box side and fold that up, and then I'll repeat that over here. And by doing it this way, I know for sure that my box top fits nicely over my box bottom. And now you see why we put that finger notch in. I can open that up, give this a nice press, burnish that tear and tape down, and now my box is complete and my top fits nice and secure, okay, over. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna find this. This is gonna be my front of my box, and this is going to be my box top. So my box is meant to open this way, but if you had directional paper or if you wanted to make your box open this way, that would depend on how you put your decorations on. But mine's going to open. This is going to be the front, not the side. So we're going to take that crate. Okay, so we've got these two pieces of this crate, and I'm going to fold these. Actually, I'm going to fold these up and in to make this crate. And their score lines are already there on that crate. Okay, so that's going to give me some dimension. And then I'm going to add this to those pieces. But before I do that, I need to add some liquid glue. So let me find my little liquid glue bottle here. I've taken one of these little glue bottles and I've added my Tombow liquid adhesive glue. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here. Tear and tape really won't work here because these pieces are too tiny. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. I don't want to get crazy because I don't want it oozing out. Okay, and now that I have glue on all of those pieces, and it's just a little bit, I'm going to take and I'm going to line up these two sides first on the right, and then I'm going to lay down the front of my box and then follow along the other two edges, making sure that I fold those in. Okay, and then I'm just going to hold that there for a second. Now, if you wanted your box to be perfectly flat, you could cut those glue tabs off and just glue the front to the back. But I want my crate to look 3D. I'm just taking my bone folder and giving that a good press to make sure that those are well stuck. So now I've got a little pouch in my box. Okay. So let's put this away for the moment. And now we're going to bring in our pumpkins. Okay. So I'm going to take one set of these pumpkins and I'm going to put it clear down in the crate. Okay. And I'm just going to take a couple of glue dots to secure that. I don't need to get crazy, and I'm going to put them at the bottom because I'm going to be sliding in pumpkins behind. I got this one too high. Let me roll that glue dot off of there. That's the way you get a glue dot off that you don't want where you don't want it. Just roll it with your fingers gently. Okay, and then I'm going to put this down at the bottom here, like so. And then I'm going to set this set of pumpkins in, and I want to make sure that this set of pumpkins covers up everything in the side of my box here. Okay, so give that a press, and remember we just have 2 tiny little glue dots. So now I can take this set of 6 pumpkins and I can put it up a little bit higher to give that some dimension. And again, I'm going to just use a couple of glue dots that will be strong enough to hold it. And I'm going to slide these in behind that pumpkin, those pumpkins, if it'll cooperate here. And this time I'm going to put my pumpkins more to the right than to the left. Okay, so that my crate looks full. And then I'll give that a good press so that those glue dots adhere well. And then I'm going to add these pumpkins. So I'm going to put 1 glue dot there, and then I'm going to take a mini glue dot you could use a bigger glue dot or dimensional, and I'm going to pop that in so that when I put this in, these pumpkins in the front look like they're a bit of a distance from the others. And you're not going to see much of that middle row of the pumpkins, and that's okay. Their purpose is to cover and make our crate look fuller. Okay. All right, so now our crate is finished, and now we're going to add our word spice. Okay, so we're going to take this, and I'm going to peel off that wax paper backing. And because this is too thick now, that really comes off nicely. And I'm going to add this right here to the front of our crate. Okay. And then we're going to put this crate down here, pretty much at the bottom of that designer series paper. We're going to make sure that our sentiment fits, and then we're going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals to give our crate some lift. This is a 3D project that we don't need to mail, so we don't really have to worry about how thick it is. So I'm just going to put 3 dimensionals here, and then we're going to add this to our box. And our crate's going to stick over a little bit on each side. I just want to get that lined up so that it's pretty much centered. Give that a press, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my sentiment with some Stampin' Seal. I'll put this right on here, and it's going to go onto that Mossy Meadow part of the box just a little bit. Let's make sure that's straight. All right, now what fits in this box? I designed this box to hold 6 of the Werther's Pumpkin Spice Soft Caramels. So we're going to add those to our box. And I'm just going to put these in here. 3 on the bottom, 3 on the top. And there is our box. Now, the eye on the spice is attached here, and it doesn't show very well. So I'm going to take a dark copper clay blend. I'm just going to darken that up just a little bit so that that will show better. And then let's add an embellishment. And let's go to the opaque sparkle dots here, 2023 to 2025 in color opaque sparkle dots. I'm going to take again one of the copper clay ones, and I'm just going to put one up here, and I'm going to put one down there, and I'm going to call that good. Actually, you know what? What would it look like if we did this? I didn't try this before. Let's see how it looks. I kind of like that. Well, let's go with that. Okay. Now you can really see the dot on that spice. Okay, so let's go ahead and hold that up so you can really see it well. And again, there's our Werther's cream caramels, pumpkin spice flavor, and that is what I have for you for tonight. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that project. Hello, Melissa Foy. All right. This is fun, isn't it? This little, the truck punch, that would be really nice. Okay. Thanks everybody for joining me. I will be live again on Tuesday night, as far as I know, on my Facebook page, and then live again next Thursday here on YouTube. All right, everybody, have a great week, and I'll see you soon. Good night and happy stamping.